Hey Acme team, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to walk you through your analytics journey through the lens of your priorities and the people that work within your organization. And the goal is to help you eventually see and understand your data. So let's start with your priorities. You would like to maximize your profits, specifically by understanding how you're selling and predicting future sales, and helping the sales team stay productive within their workflow. You want to scale a small IT team by keeping your environment secure through a single sign-on process. You want to scale the data analytics team by empowering them with an easy to use analytics platform, minimizing their time spent on cleaning data. And you would like to prepare for an IPO next year by making sure your environment is secure with the correct permissions. Do these priorities sound right based on our conversations from before? Anything that you would add or change from these? Okay, great. So let's start then with your persona. So this is your team, right? We have Ali, who's an account executive, Ronnie, who is the SVP of sales for the Americas, Kerman, who's the data scientist on the team, and Shelia, who works in IT. We're going to start off by focusing on Ali's journey and Ronnie's journey. So we want Ali to leverage the full capacity of Salesforce CRM now that you guys are deployed on it. We're going to walk you through how that works. And then we're going to move on to helping Ronnie track sales KPIs and predict upcoming sales. Let's start from Ali's position as a sales rep. So as Ali runs through her day, she needs to go straight to the CRM so that she can understand what's going on with her opportunities. What you can see here is that there are different deals, and those deals are broken down by the size as well as the date to close or time to close, and also by stage. At the bottom left, we see that the data source is NPS, which is an external data source. So you can bring in external data sources and add them to your Salesforce data to see some form of information related to how Ali's managing her opportunities. And she also has a predictive score to see how long it might take for a specific deal to actually close. And you can see a goal, which is 75 days for the close dates on average. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to toggle a little bit between by stage and by forecast just to show you what that means. So we can see that there's about $18 million in omitted pipeline. There's $50 million in forecasted best case pipeline. And the groups are related to it is Geo Group, DNAL, Sun Edison, etc. The next thing I can do here is I can actually change the date. So let's make it over the next 90 days as opposed to the next 30 days ahead. I'm going to click apply. And now it applies to the whole dashboard and it's pretty cleanly filtered to that information. At the bottom here, I have a details tab that I can collapse or expand on that allows me to see what's going on with every single deal that I have. All right, let's see what Ali would do given this information. So the first thing she might notice is that the Mead West Cabo 127 deal is one of her biggest deals. So she might want to open the record to see it straight up what's going on. This is the action framework. It is what allows the user, meaning Ali, to be able to stay within the workflow to do her day-to-day tasks, such as log the call, email the account, update the opportunity, etc. If I click on open the record, you'll notice that it will take me straight to the opportunity record. I can see who owns it, when is the close date, how much the amount is, and I can also see through Einstein Discovery some predictors that indicate whether this client is likely or this opportunity is likely to close won or close lost. So looking at this, it tells us that the predicted time to close is 103.34 days, which is a very long time. And some of the factors are affecting this is that 14.53 of the lead source is field sales and region is Midwest. So both of those factors may be contributing to factors to why things might take a little bit longer time. We can also see that the sales stage count is 2 and competitor is Mopart. So that means that it's still early on in the sale and there's a competitor out there that might threaten the deal from closing fully. So what are the big takeaways here? For Ali, all she wants to do is to do her job within a single location, which in this case will become Salesforce, because this is where she's going to track all her opportunities and all her work. By having a simple dashboard that shows her what she needs to know, that has an action framework embedded into it, that takes her to a specific opportunity where she can see a specific predicted time to close and take actions as a result of that, Ali doesn't have to worry about looking through a long report that means very little for her or breaking away from her workflow to look into information. She can just take action, update her steps, update her opportunities, and be able to understand what's going on with them at every single stage through an intelligent CRM. Now, we figured out how to help Ali, but what about Ronnie? Well, Ronnie doesn't necessarily work inside of Salesforce, but he still needs to understand what's going on from a data perspective across the organization. He has his metrics to track for sure, which are the sales KPIs, but he also may want to dig into what the other executives are working on when there's presentations or conversations that are cross collaborative across the different departments. Well, one of the main things that Ronnie can get is he can download a mobile application through Tableau, and he can just look at his metrics almost like a stock market tick marks to see how the big numbers are actually doing. Here's an example. We have here net profits, the current quarter gross sales, and the cost of goods. As soon as Ronnie opens up his Tableau environment, he sees these three things pretty easily and straightforwardly laid out for him. But if Ronnie wanted to explore outside of that, what's going on, well, he can go back to the Explore tab and he can see the different folders set up by different permissions related to what he needs to know. He may be able to drill down into a specific dashboard and see some of that predictive component that we saw earlier with Ali. An example is here that we have is the customer churn impact and risk analysis, where we can see that you can do some filtering just like in Tableau CRM by specific information, say by the bundle or the different types of packages of things that we sell. But you can also drill down by the specific client to get a churn score and understand what are the likelihood of this client churning. So a client named Benedict's person who has a bundle package, it has very little chance of churning, 8.9%. We can explain that information by understanding what factors went into this. So in this case, we understand the things that lower that churn rate are that the monthly charges are between 477 and 534. And more importantly, it seems like the tenure is 57 years. That's a long time to be a customer. So it's very low likely that this customer is going to stop working with us. But if there are factors that lead to a higher return score, these factors are the monthly charges and the payment method, which is credit card, and that the contract, more specifically, is month to month. So Ronnie, like Ali, is in an environment that he's comfortable with. He can get an email subscription to notify him about any changes or alerts in his dashboards. He has his favorites tabs where he can see all the information that he cares about. He can download the Tableau mobile app and he can stay connected with the rest of the organization.